Hey everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Today I want to give you 3 tips on becoming an effective LGBT ally. So before we get into the 3 tips, I actually want to briefly talk about what it means to be an ally. Now, you might be a friend, a family member to someone who identifies as gay, lesbian, bisexual, trans, pansexual, whatever. But just being a friend or family member doesn't always equate to being an ally. And here's why. A friend will be there for you. A family member will be there for you. An ally will be there for you. So, they'll all be there for you. What's the difference? Well, an ally can actually take it a step further and not just be there for you, but be there for everyone like you. With that said, let's begin. Tip number 1, educate yourself. I know it sounds obvious, but it's as simple as picking up a book, reading some articles, following some YouTubers or Twitter accounts. Shameless self-promotion. But really, follow people, follow ideas, follow dialogues, follow media content, documentaries, and other published works that can expand your educational awareness of common issues that LGBT people face. You could learn about the history of LGBT rights in the country that you're living in. You could do your research on ways that LGBT people feel oppression within their culture. For example, understanding what homophobia is, understanding what heterosexism is. Heterosexism might be a word you've never heard in your life. I want to go over it so bad, and maybe I'll do that in another video, but for now, I want you to grab this opportunity and take action to educate yourself. There's a lot of terminology, and there's probably a lot of concepts regarding lots of things you thought you knew, so take time to research. It will help you better understand the LGBT community. The second tip I can give you for being an effective LGBT ally is speak up and take action. If you come across a homophobic remark, say something. If you see someone being treated differently and rudely because of their perceived or actual sexual orientation or gender identity and expression, stand up if you can. Don't be a people pleaser. Because being an effective ally means you will ruffle feathers. You will break the peace a little bit. It's hard, it's difficult, it takes courage sometimes, especially if you're not accustomed to speaking up for yourself or for others. Because it's easy to stay silent or shrug or nervously laugh it off, but that doesn't help anybody. In fact, it actually makes it worse because it makes it okay for someone saying homophobic remarks or transphobic remarks in your presence, and it lets them know that, hey, you didn't have a problem with it, so they can keep going. And I'm here to tell you that we need you to stand up against homophobia, against transphobia, against heterosexism. And if you don't know what all these words mean, that's okay. That's part of the education process. That's part of your journey through exploring all the terms and all the issues that LGBT people go through. The third and final tip for this video that I have for you on being an effective, badass ally is you have to come out. No, not as gay or trans. You have to come out as an ally. You have to let people know, hey, I'm an ally. You can come to me, you can confide in me, and I will listen, and I will be there, and I will do my best to understand your experience. And then I will do something about it. Coming out is a process, and it's not often easy. It might feel uncomfortable to say, I'm an ally, because now you have work to do, or you have issues you're going to face too. Because as an ally, what I face, you face, because you're going to be standing there with me. And that's why coming out as an ally is the final tip I have. I could go in depth on each point that I gave, but that video would be ridiculously long, and maybe I'll make this as part of like an educational segment or something on my YouTube. That actually sounds like a really good idea. See, look, right there, being a good ally already. Now listen, I'm gonna be real with you. It might be hard. You might run into ideas that challenge your notion of things like gender, things like sexual orientation. But I ask you, do some research. Not just from one source, not just from me, for sure, but from multiple sources. Ask questions. Seek guidance when you're confused. We need people to do this work with us. We need people to be willing to expand their horizons, to expand their communication skills so that they can speak up. Now, we're not here to point fingers. We're not here to blame people. We're not here to tell people, you're not doing enough. At the same time, we're also not here to be complacent, and we're not here to be like, yeah, status quo's cool, whatever, because it's not, okay? So don't take things too personally if someone's like, hey, you could be a better ally, especially if you're already calling yourself an ally. Now, if you're calling yourself a friend or a family member, then I urge you even more to do this work. I know that you have the potential to save lives by being a good ally. No, by being a badass ally. I didn't have a lot of gay role models growing up. Allies were the ones who contributed most to my development of being an advocate and an activist. Allies, let that sink in. You can play the role of an advisor, even if it's a coworker coming to you and said, hey, I felt like I was treated unfairly because of my gender identity. Maybe you work at a school and a student could come up to you and say, somebody's bullying me because I'm gay. And you will have the education and the power to do something about it when they can't. That's why this is important. That's why we need you. Thank you so much for watching this video. It would be amazing if you could share this video with somebody who could contribute to the dialogue of what it means to be a good ally and how people could be better allies. Thank you again, and feel free to subscribe so you can stay on top of all my videos that I hopefully will be publishing soon. So be a badass ally. Thank you again, and until next time, I will see you later. Bye.